So, yeah, I finally gave in, and I watched K-Pop Demon Hunters. And oh my gosh, guys, the movie is so good. The story, while a little predictable at times, still felt unique enough to keep me engaged all the way through. There are even a few big twists that completely caught me off guard. The art style was absolutely stunning, the humor landed almost every single time, and honestly, all of that alone would have made for a really solid movie. But then there was the music, and that just pushed it over the top for me. Now, whenever I get obsessed with something like this, I always end up turning to Lego because it's by far my favorite hobby. And lately, I felt that Lego themselves have been missing the mark. They were 3 years late on Spider-Verse sets, they skipped Superman entirely, they skimped out on Fantastic Four, and as for K-Pop Demon Hunters, nothing, not a word, and it's really no surprise. Lego's certainly not going to focus on a Sony, low-budget, straight-to-streaming, Netflix original movie. So I decided to fix that. I began to work on the custom trio of figures just like I normally would, but little did I know I would end up spending 8 hours designing, creating custom prints, painted parts, building a whole Lego set, and listening to Golden on loop more times than I'd like to admit. And with that, let's begin. Let's start out with Rumi. Her character design is quite unique in the series. Rumi's character design really reflects the art of the movie and just how well everything works together. The light purple and yellow accents bring everything together really well. I really wanted Rumi's Lego minifigure to capture all of that, and I think I came pretty close. I ended up with choosing lavender for her hair, and her jacket I went with flame yellow-orange, something that would pop and give the figure a little fire and warmth. Funny thing, I actually started with a much darker purple hairpiece. Looking back, it was wrong. I wanted something that felt closer to how she looks on screen. But honestly, this is a great chance to talk about how to recolor Lego parts, because it's a process that can completely change how a figure comes to life. First, you'll obviously want to gather some paint. Then layer the color carefully until the base is completely covered. Sometimes with darker shades, it takes 3 or even 4 coats. Patience is the key here. After it dries, I grab a glossy Mod Podge and give it a thin layer on top. It dries clear, and a thin coat actually speeds up the drying time. You can touch it lightly after 5 or 6 hours, but full solidification can take up to 12 or 14 hours. Press too hard before it's ready, and you leave little fingerprint indents. But when it's done, it looks fantastic, almost like it came straight from Lego. That shine really sells the illusion. I applied a similar method to her legs, using a dark blue coat on a pair of Robin's legs from the Lego Batman movie, and eventually her arms too. Most of the time though, I was happy to use these pre-printed parts, the ones from the cat lady in the Lego movie too, because they already matched the vibe I wanted. I used the same painting method on Zoe and Meera's hair, which really elevated their figures too, but we'll get to that in a minute. As for her face, I went with a custom print of Rose Tyler from Doctor Who Series 1 and 2 made by Firestar Toys, but since those minifigures are like $30 each, Ray's head is an incredibly close alternative and they both work equally well. I will say though that I avoid making custom heads, arms, and legs whenever I can. They're so complicated, rounded, and especially faces are tough to make look natural, so that's why I only went with the torsos here. I also want to take a moment to give a shout out to Scrapbox, a really cool channel that creates custom minifigures from non-Lego media. I discovered his version of these figures after I had already started working on Roomie. I made sure our designs were different, completely diverging later on with Derpy and the bird, to make sure that my style stood apart. It's fun to see different takes on the same characters, and it pushes you to get creative with your own design choices. But with that being said, let's look at Meera. I'm super happy with her figure as well, though I'll admit she's probably my least favorite of the 3. I couldn't tell you exactly why, there's really not much I could fix. Maybe the lines on her skirt could be a bit straighter, but since they're hand-drawn, there's only so much I can do. Overall though, I'm still happy with her design. Her character in the movie is really underrated. She doesn't get nearly as much screen time as I think she should, and if I were writing a sequel, which is apparently in the works, I'd probably start with a prequel. I'd love to explore Meera's family issues, Zoe's move from America, Rumi's relationship with her guardian and distance from her parents, and how all the girls met. I think it would be amazing to dive into the other 2 characters as well and focus less on Rumi, who already got her story, while Zoe and Meera's arcs feel almost pre-resolved before the film starts. That's just something I'd love to see. With that tangent out of the way, let's talk about her minifigure. Her hairpiece is a painted version of the Overwatch piece, and admittedly, it's just slightly messy around the headphones. I didn't want to cover them with the hot pink I chose for her hair. Her legs are hand painted using the same method as before, and her arms feature a dual molding technique I developed in my last video where I fixed Lego Star Wars clone troopers with painted arms. Honestly, it might be the best paint work I've done so far. They came out so smooth, the colors match perfectly, and they line up beautifully with the torso. Speaking of torsos, all 3 of these prints are available to download for free. Link in the description. I make nothing from this, it's just for you all to enjoy. I'd love nothing more than to see you print these out, create your own custom Huntrix figures, and tag me either at SpideySteve3895 or SpideySteveBuilds. This video is actually the last one that will be posted on both my original channel and my new one strictly for LEGO content, so if you want more videos like this, make sure you're subscribed here and not here. Unless you're also into life series and Minecraft stuff, then yeah, here's good too. But doing all this made me really wish there was some way to convince LEGO to make a set based on this movie. This series is so good, with so many recognizable characters and vibrant locations. It would be awesome to see what kind of cool stuff they could create. Unfortunately, I can't think of any way to make that a reality. Let's finish up the characters before moving on. Oh yeah, did I mention that build yet? Well, you'll see it soon enough. Zoe ended up looking fantastic, and I really had to push my creativity on this one. Her hair is a modified version of Cole's from Lego Ninjago, built up with clay, painted black, and glossed so that her buns look seamless. Surprisingly, it came out really well. Her head is... Wait, whose head is this? Regardless, I liked it, and it's what I used for the majority of the process, but I think Sylvie's from Loki might actually look even better. What do you think? The arm idea was unique, since she doesn't exactly have this in the film, but it conveyed the style so well that I left it. She does have bands on her arms in the movie, but this just gives the vibe without being literally exact. At LEGO scale, something that small like the designs in the actual movie would be weird anyway. Her legs are Catwoman's from Lego Batman, and they worked fine. Overall, I'm super happy with how Zoe turned out. She's creative, dynamic, and really fun to display alongside Rumi and Meera, and her torso is my favorite of the 3. You may have caught my subtle hints about wishing LEGO had done something for this movie, but that might actually become a reality. This is my custom Huntrix stage set, featuring versions of the figures I made, as well as purest versions of all 5 Saja boys, and their soda can. Plus a cool display shaped like a record that everyone sits on. If the edit says it's real on screen, you can check out the description and vote for it, but as of writing, I'm still waiting for approval. Check the bio if you want to help make this a real set. I also have the cat Derpy and the hatted pigeon as custom pieces, plus a new print on this LEGO Dreams cat figure, which I really like. Anyway, to wrap it up, I loved this movie, and I can't wait to see more. I really hope this build of the cat doesn't actually get made with no figures on LEGO Ideas, but leave a comment below if you want to see full customs of the boys, or Bobby, and I'll make a follow-up. Follow me everywhere, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!